All right, boys and girls, welcome back to a Black Sheep Agency podcast. We actually got Hayden Ralph on this one, which in my opinion, I personally think Hayden Ralph looks like Alex Hormozi's little brother. Go in the comments and let us know, if you think I'm on there. But we got all the boys on, and we just want to rip today. Today's Friday. It's a good day. January 19th, so already 2/3 of the way in January, and our minds are going, and let's just talk agency stuff. So question I got for Hunter, what is a recent breakthrough you've had or something that you're really focusing on right now in your agency?
So we started out playing in the contractor space, and we're doing specifically remodelers, and we're going to open it up to some other verticals. But the problem with most of these people is they're all running the same crappy ads. And it's not like I noticed in Cairo when I had the agency that the clients loved to be a part of it, and they wanted their face on ads, and they wanted to do adjustments and work with the patients. They were very much interested in the content portion and being a part of it, and the contractors weren't. But if anybody, like everybody knows, Facebook ads is all about novel and new and different, and that's just creative is king. So we changed up offers that were a little bit different than everybody else, which if you want to go funnel hack me, you can. But the main thing was the creative. So we noticed if we went to companies that were like $1 million at least in revenue, we could kind of charge whatever we want. We're still testing. We're kind of testing retainer versus pay per appointment right now. We haven't solidified one, but we have solidified that the sale is so freaking easy if we just show them that we make the content and we make the user generated content. I'm on the ads, some of our team is on the ads, and we do our level of quality stuff. Because when you think about the logic behind it, it's like, hey, why are you sitting in front of me today? And they're like, oh, because I saw your ads, I really liked them. Cool. You want the exact same thing for you and your company? Because we'll do it. And we'll give you exclusivity, meaning nobody else in a 20 to 30 mile radius will have the ads that made you sign up here today. So it's just such a logical sale. It's made everything easier. They seem to love the content. It's actually, for most of our markets, it's getting better results. It's nothing like insanely better. But even if it was exactly the same as running crappy ads, you're still different and novel and new. So it just makes the sale way easier and the clients love you more. So that was a huge breakthrough. I think UGC is huge, and I think a lot of agencies are missing out by not.
Yeah, I would honestly say getting creative from a lot of these small businesses is, it's just a tough thing. And Hunter is he's just someone who is going to go way beyond, create the content and make sure it's super good and just make it super turnkey. And so a big differentiator is, hey, we can run super awesome ads for you. And at the same time, those creatives are going to far outperform what everyone else is doing, just using a bunch of stock images and just a bunch of basic stuff that's like 2018. So love that.
No, 100%. And I want to jump in here. I noticed the same exact thing with our agency. You can side by side test this all the time. And if you have a really good piece of content versus a still image, the really good piece of content wins pretty much every time now. Like Facebook and Instagram, probably TikTok as well. It's all gotten to a point where it's short form, user generated content. That's everywhere. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok. And so if you can get really good at that as your agency, you're going to get really good results for your clients. So that's something that Hunter's putting his time into right now. So Hunter, you're making everything. So for example, are you just changing the first intro for your client, or are you changing literally like a whole brand new video for each client?
No, that would be terrible. We made it pretty turnkey in that if people want to funnel hack me, they can. We call out the area. Actually, here's how we do it. There's a headline at the top. And one of our ads is, you read the title. That means we're already in your neighborhood remodeling your neighbor's dream bathrooms and kitchens. So because we're already in the neighborhood, we'll run a free 3D design consultation with you, and you'll get these bonuses. And every single client has like a slightly different offer. So we just throw the bonuses up on screen. Sometimes it's like a free shower door, free countertops, 20% off installation fee, $1,500 value somewhere here and there. And it just flashes on the screen. And we're like, so if you're in this area one more time, and we point to the top, and you want a free design consultation, schedule below and we'll reach out and see if you qualify.
Nice.
Yeah. I noticed a ton of people in my industry don't call out the area. And I think it is so stupid. I don't know why this industry is so slow, but it seems like I think we can come in and take over because this industry is bad.
And I noticed too,
they're just doing shit wrong.
I also noticed if you call out the neighborhood, even in the ad copy now, it doesn't seem to work as well. Like it used to be, you could just call it out in the ad copy, you could just call it out in the headline. But now I'm even noticing like we need to put it in the user generated content somehow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because there was one really.
This is another question. Do you have a formula in place, Hunter, for your meat and potatoes of the ad, and then you're just changing up, let's say, the headline, or you're changing up the hooks? Like, so when you go to your UGC team, are you creating like? This is a more technical question, but are you making like 3 to 5 hooks for that one video and just testing that out? Or what's your process there?
We because when you think about it, the offer's kind of going to be the same. You need an offer that's going to be like 90% the same for all the clients. And if they want to throw bonuses in, that's fine. So the bodies are all very similar, but if you just want to test like different locations, different people saying it, like even like a costume or something, whatever is fine. We did like 3 different bodies and I had 3 different people speak over them. I'm one of them. And we just did a ton of different hooks. We've done like 30 different hooks. And we just, when you blend it with 3 different videos, it's like 60 different creatives that you can test over a client's lifespan. And when you think about that, like, dude, I remember people charging back my Cairo agency because they didn't do the content in time and they said it was our fault. They just blamed us. So I was like, fuck that. Nah, like right when you sign up, we're pressing go whenever I want.
Yeah.
I love that you're solving that issue.
Yeah, one thing there, that was a good point, is the ability to have really good content right out the gate that can be used ASAP to not clog up the launch time is super crucial. But simultaneously, we'll also have our clients making the UGC and the custom content that we want them to make, but we're not waiting or relying on them to get it back to us in possibly 2-3 weeks to launch the campaign. So we're still on pace to launch, so we can make sure those payment dates are getting started as fast as possible and they're not being delayed by, clients not giving us the content we need. So super solid.
I want everyone to think about this too. Think about what Hunter's doing here, because I'm not doing this in my agency, and it would be huge if we could, because from a sales perspective, you could say, hey, we can get launched tomorrow. You could say, I already have the Facebook page we're going to run it on. I don't need access for you for anything, especially if you're doing the appointment setting. I'm going to turn on the ads for you and start getting bookings for you this week. Like, what card do you want to put that on? You know what I mean? That's so huge. That's so huge.
Speed.
And if you're and if you're in an industry where you're like, well, I can't make user generated content, my client is a dentist, or my client's, eye surgeon, how am I supposed to get this content? You got to get a really good client, hopefully in your area, and get him to make content for you that you can use generically. I've done that with one of my clients. It works pretty well. But again, that's something I'm always pushing towards, because it's kind of difficult to get a client like that in some of these industries, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a good way to think about it is if you can make it super easy for a client to get started as fast as possible, meaning you take care of the creative, you take care of the appointments, it's super turnkey. We could literally launch in 48 hours. That's step 1. But step 2 is also, you don't want to just launch an ad as fast as possible just to get paid. You also have to perform in those first 30 days. And those first 30 days are pretty much the most important time frame in a campaign with a client, because they're basically going to decide whether they made a good decision or if they really messed up. And so if you can attack speed, you could attack value, making it turnkey, and that strategy also has a high success rate in 30, 60, 90 days. Now you're talking about retention on the back end too, and just making sure that the client wins are also an important metric that you're looking at in this sort of strategy.
So when we're talking about retention, let's switch the topic up a little bit here. Let's say first 30 days customer journey. Let's go into account management. So let's say you have great ads, you're getting them set up, you're saying everything's turnkey for the client, but you don't hit the client up at all, right? Except for maybe when the appointment reminders come in for the bookings. Are your chances of losing that client, Stevie, still pretty high because of the lack of communication?
Say that one more time.
So essentially, let's say you do everything right, and you get launched really quickly. So you're using Hunter's strategy. You get the leads, you get the appointment bookings because you have a setter. You get the UGC that you made yourself. You have your own Facebook page. You run ads really smoothly. The client doesn't really have to do anything. So you have the onboarding call, the launch call, you launch. But then the account manager is like nowhere to be seen, right? So to speak. Maybe they only reach out to them one time on that end of month call and be like, so how are your results and everything like that, right? Are you still very likely to lose that client? And if so, can you elaborate more on like Digilock's process to ensure that the communication is great with the client so that they're happy in that month one?
Yeah, so I mean, you can pretty much have everything dialed in, but if there's no clear communication, high touch point communication, especially in the first 30, 60 days, you can have a higher churn just due to that factor. And so these business owners are busy. They might not see all the results that you're generating, even though you see them. And so if that's not clearly communicated to the client with specific examples, screenshots, and pretty much in their inbox or in their text or in their Slack channel, weekly or bi-weekly, just with all the updates and wins that are going on, then you're basically, putting yourself at risk because you think the client sees what's going on, but in reality, they have 100 other things that they're thinking about. And, that could bite you in the ass.
Yeah. Something that's helped us out a lot is, especially right when the campaign launches and there's a quick win, is just to send them a quick Loom video. So having the account manager just send them a quick video update. Like, hey, we got our first win. This is what we did. This is the cost per lead. This is what it's looking like. Boom. Send it out to them. Something that takes 5 minutes that, like, as business owners, or if someone's watching this that's just starting, maybe they're just have a couple of clients, you think you have so many other things to do, but you need to focus on keeping those clients that you have as well. So even though there's a million other things to do, take 5 minutes, sit down, film a Loom video for your client. You'd be surprised how far that video could go.
100%.
So I got a question for everyone. What is top of mind right now? Hunter already kind of explained it with UGC at his agency. Stevie, what's top of mind right now for you at your agency? Like, what is something you're thinking about every day when you're waking up?
I'm honestly really big on recruiting right now. So I already know that we have to keep growing month over month. Sales has to outpace churn. And when you do that month over month, that's the most simple way to scale month over month in monthly recurring revenue. And so at our size, now building the vehicle to go to 8 figures, I'm basically realizing that there's 3 really big projects in our company. Project 1 is building a sales machine and a sales team to literally max out sales. And they have blinders on. Like, that entire team is just focused on bringing as many qualified clients as we can every single month and just pouring gas on it. The second team is just relentless on product innovation and hitting our retention and churn goals, which is obviously, a super important play, because if you bring on 20 clients, but you're losing 20 clients, you're basically spinning, and there should be an entire team focused on reducing churn, an entire team on maximizing sales. The third component is hiring and recruiting. So we're basically hiring more of department heads, and we're building more of our executive team. And something that I learned over the weekend, and it just hit so hard, was some guy said, hire based on outcomes, not task. That is basically what that means is when we're in the market right now, we're basically hiring 3 different 6-figure roles actively right now, interviewing. I'm basically telling them, this is the goal. This is what I'm hiring you to do. This is the perfect scenario. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm not going to tell you all the tasks that you need to do. The main thing here is I'm hiring you to come in and make our boat go faster so that we hit that specific KPI. And so when you're hiring these higher level people, and you can even do the same exact concept if you're even hiring even mid-tier people, but you're basically letting them know these are the goals, and I'm hiring you to figure out how to hit these goals, instead of just doing task and doing basic shit and just doing we're trying to get here. You tell me how to do that. That's why I'm hiring you. And so that is a big shift in 2024 for us, getting getting people who think outside the box, who can really lead departments to hit these key KPIs that are going to change the game.
I love that. I love that. So instead of hiring based on this is your job role, this is what your day to day looks like. It's like, no, this is what you're getting judged on. Like, can you do this? Is this something that you can come into my agency and solve this problem, so to speak, right?
Correct.
And so that's scary for some people that are getting hired, right? So you might have people that get to that
Yeah.
second or third interview and you show them that, like, hey, this is what you're getting judged on. This is what I'm looking for. And, you're better off by showing someone that in the beginning, right? Because then you solved all that time of wasted on, potential hire that wasn't a good fit.
1,000%.
So what stage of the interview are you showing that on? Is that like a last interview question or
So
like a PowerPoint, something like that?
I already bring that up depending who I'm interviewing, right? So right now we're hiring head of strategy. We're hiring basically senior account manager, dental space, so it's a higher level. And we're also looking for CRO type sales manager role, which is like a big deal. And so at the end of the day, if we're talking about sales, I want to hire someone and let them know, hey, this is the goal. We want a minimum of blank MRR revenue per month. And so we need to build the team and have our inbound and outbound and all the channels dialed in to hit that number. Now, I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but that's why I'm hiring you. So we can hit this number. You hit this number, that's an A+ scenario. And that's who we're looking for. And so then you give them the autonomy to think and like really figure shit out versus like, hey, what do I do? What should I do? You tell me what we should do.
I like that a lot. Hunter, bring us home, baby.
I think in the agency space, we all talk about doing things at scale and finding the absolute best way to do things at scale. And I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I think call centers didn't used to be a thing. And I think Digital Ox has blown up because of it. And I think if you can do content creation, which right now isn't a huge thing, I think you can blow up. And there are probably other little tiny things you can find in the cracks to fulfill that no one else will. And if you're different is always better than better.
110%.
Let's go.
Boys and girls.
All right, you little black sheepies.